Very good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to episode 12 of A Kick in the Balearics. Yeah, episode 12. Who'd have thought it? The Dirty Dozen. Me and the very young, of course, Martin Makepeace. How are you, Mark?
Good morning, Richie, or good afternoon, should I say? Yeah, good, mate. Very good, thank you. Fine sports.
You just got back from a bit of football?
Yeah. Just been watch my lad play a pre-season friendly. Lost 1-0, but it was a good match. Really enjoyed it, and just great to be back watching football. It's absolutely really hot here as well, mate. It's baking today, mate. I don't know what it's like over there in Mallorca. But
yeah, no, same here, mate. Same with blue skies, bright sunshine today. Yeah, about 25 degrees. It's lovely.
So I was sweating and whatever, but no, it was a good match, mate. Great to be back watching football.
Good. So this is the Balearic, Kick in the Balearics podcast, where we talk about Real Mallorca, of course, in our Liga Smart Bank. This weekend, we're excited because obviously it's the start of Segunda B this weekend. Over here in Mallorca, we've got Atletico Baleares and UD Poblense, and over in Ibiza, Martin's got UD Ibiza and Peña Deportiva as well. So lots to talk about, some bit of local football news as well for you too. So let's go on with Real Mallorca, Mark.
Yeah.
3 games in a row. I don't know what's going on. Never heard of.
Yeah, I mean, again, Richie, we're going to say the same thing that we said last week, though, aren't we? Really, we're like a stuck record, aren't we, this time? Because having watched the match, nothing up front, mate, is there? There's zero up front there at all. I mean, that's got to be a worry for Garcia. Nothing up front. However, another penalty, which I suppose with the rules, it was a penalty, wasn't it? Handball's a penalty, so it was a penalty. If I was on the other side, I'd have felt very hard done by, because it was just a flick, really, wasn't it? But and a good penalty by Salva Sevilla, good penalty, and they had 2 sent off as well. So,
it was right towards the end, the sending off. So
I think that the kind of it's aligning with Real Mallorca at the moment, mate. 3 on the spin, top 4 now, Richie. So well done, but. You need a striker. I don't know where they're going to get it from. They need to find a striker quickly, because once the matches get hard and they come thick and fast, I think they're going to struggle.
Yeah, and also don't forget it was done without sort of 3 regular first teamers. Largo Junior, Barba, and Martin Valgent were all away on international duty. So, it was still a good result regardless. Listen, I think we all know that the problem for Mallorca is going to be up front. We've only conceded 1 goal in 5 games. So it looks like he's got the defence, as tight as possible. And in this league, to be very, very honest with you, having experienced it a couple of times, there isn't many teams that score a lot of goals. And a lot of teams will win 1-0 or it'll be a 0-0. Or, do you know what I mean? All the good, as we know, Mark, a good striker is normally in a top team, because that's what they do. They score goals. So they're difficult to come. And, you just need a guy who's going to get you 15, 20 goals. That's what you need. And they're very, very difficult to come by, which is why I was surprised that we got rid of Stoichkov, to be perfectly honest. But let's see, the boy from Osasuna hopefully will, hit the ground running when he's sort of back up to speed.
Is that Cardona, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so let's see, But look, as long as the other players are chipping in with goals, Valgent's got 1, Salva's got 1, Danny Rodriguez, our top scorer, with 2. So, so as long as they keep chipping in, and we don't put one in, they don't put one in the other end. So we're going to win games, and that's the important thing right now. You've got this division is always tight. There's not anybody that really runs away with it.
What's the buzz on the island, mate? Sorry, mate. What's the buzz on the island?
Well, it's not too much buzz, Mark, because you can't go to the game. That's the really, really frustrating thing about this. I know a lot of people do go down to the Mallorca Cafe, which is outside the ground, and watch the game from there. Do you know what I mean? But it's just not the same, is it? You want to go and watch it live, regardless of where you are. You always want to go and watch the game live. Still no sort of idea of when we're going to be allowed back in, or what percentage.
It's rubbish, mate. They need to let us in, pal. I mean, those big grounds. I mean, what does Son Mosh hold? Or sorry, the Visit Mallorca Stadium, as it's called now.
Well, because they put the sort of full standard at one end, I think it's just over 20,000. I think it was around about 21,000. So 10% is 2,100. I think 20 or 30% would pretty much. I think we're about 11 or 12,000 season ticket holders right now. So, it's not going to take that much to get as many people as we can. The frustrating thing is right now is that Segunda B are allowing fans in. They're allowing 1,000 people in. I know Udi Poblensi have done it. Atletico Balearics are doing it tomorrow. You told me that Udi Ibiza are doing it, and I think Peña are doing it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if they are allowing it in Segunda B, I don't really understand why they're not allowing it in La Liga Smart Bank.
We had that ridiculous thing on Wednesday, Wembley Stadium, 90,000 seats or whatever, completely empty. I mean, you could put 20,000 people in there and they would get lost, wouldn't they,
Yeah, that's true.
So, I think we'll have a rethink about it sometimes, because I'm starting to really miss the crowds now, Richie, especially in the big games. And Liga might be a bit different, but Segunda, as you said, if they set a precedent in Segunda B of 1,000 people, then I can't see why they can't double that or treble that for Segunda or La Liga Smart Bank. So we need crowds, and the fact that there's no buzz on the island about the team, that says it all.
Listen, you see what you see in the papers, you see what you see online on Twitter and everything else. Do you know what I mean? I think everybody's happy right now that the team's in fourth place. They've lost one game, which was the first game of the season, obviously. But since then, they've looked like they're not going to concede. They've looked like they're not going to score many, of course. But yeah, the buzz I don't think will come back until the fans are allowed back in again. I think that's the given. But it'd be interesting actually tomorrow. Funny enough, I've been given an invite, a press invite no less, for the Atletico Balearics game tomorrow. So I'm going to go along and see how it all is sort of done, basically.
Yeah.
From a fan's point of view. 1,000 people are allowed in, socially distanced, hand gel. I've actually put it in my blog yesterday. The rules are obviously there's hand gel on, and you'll have to wear a mask and everything else. But fans are not allowed to hug unless you're in. It's obviously part of your own family, of course.
Well, at least they're being specific, mate. So if you sat next to a good-looking lady who score a goal, you can't.
Well, I mean, what a result that'll be, wouldn't it? I mean, blimey, eh?
No, I mean, so Richard, I've got a little question for you, mate. What's your thoughts so far? 5 games in, as a Real Mallorca fan, are you pleased? I mean, I know what you're going to say, but I mean, so far so good, yeah.
Yeah, look, if you remember when we go back on some of these sort of chats that we've done, I was a bit, not really sure whether this manager was going to work out for us. Wasn't sure if he'd got, listen, he got the experience, but had he got the experience recently was the question I was asking. Should we have gone maybe with a younger manager? But he's proved his worth so far. There seems to be a really good buzz in the squad. There's a lot of good things coming out on social media, which is good to see. Because obviously that what you can't see yourself, you're giving it by social media. So you're lying in fourth place. You've won 3. You've drawn 1. You've lost 1. You probably can't moan. Espanyol are top, as as we all thought they would be. They've only drawn 1 game, and that was against Mallorca. So I mean, listen, it will take, I think, probably at least 10 games to sort of it all start to sort of come out a little bit and see where we are and everything else. But yeah, listen, I'm happy. Well, I'd have been the first to be moaning if I wasn't, wouldn't I? Do you know what I mean? So let's see.
I think if I was Garcia, Rich, I'll be doing cartwheels, because after that first, the first loss of the season at home, it could have been doom and gloom, but they pulled it around, Richie. 1 win, a draw against Espanyol was a horrible game, by the way, but it was a great result because they got a point on the board, and then three wins on the spin. So as far as I'm concerned, so far so good. As you said, another 5 games. I think they just got to keep eking out those kind of scruffy wins. And I think, as you rightly said, in Segunda, there's very few superstars knocking in 25, 30 goals, because they soon go elsewhere.
Yeah. Listen, Mark. To sort of give you the top scorers are Fuenlabrada after 5 games. They've got 8 goals.
Yeah.
So it just shows you that there aren't going to be a lot of goals around in any of the games. So let's see. We're playing Mirandés tomorrow, 6:15 kickoff. We're away against Mirandés.
Did they go up, Richie? They went up from Segunda B, didn't they, Mirandés? Am I thinking that?
No, I think they were in Segunda last year. I think they finished about mid-table last year. Okay. Yeah, I seem to remember. But it should be an interesting game. 4th against 8th. What have they done? They've played 5, 1, 2, drawn 2, lost 1. So they've only lost 1, same as us. So let's see. It'll be an interesting game.
Predictions, mate?
1-0. It's a bit like 1-0 to the Arsenal, is it?
I'm going to go 1-1, Richie, tomorrow. I think you might concede tomorrow. Mirandés, if you say they're middle table, they've got some guile about them. I think a scruffy draw away from home that'll do nicely. As long as you stay in the top 6 or 7 until Christmas, then you can push on. So 1-1 for me.
Good. Let's move on to Segunda B. It all starts this weekend. When I say all starts, it doesn't actually all start. They're doing a bit of a staggered start because they've got these sort of group games, like a bit like we're experiencing where our boys play as well. So let's start with your boys, Peña Deportiva. They're up against Villarreal B team. It's a 12 midday kickoff on Sunday. That's tomorrow, of course. 1,000 tickets available, I think, is it?
I think so. What they've said, I've just been on their website, and it's only open to season ticket holders. Yeah. So okay. I think they sold about 800 or 900 season tickets. So I think that's where they'll be as well. So I think it will be very closely kind of monitored tomorrow as well, because we don't want any kind of there. But I've got to say that Peña Deportiva have got the worst ground probably in the whole of Spanish football. And I was speaking to a guy who supports Peña there, and they went, "Yeah, but that's a good thing, because nobody likes playing there because it's a horrendous ground." It's almost like a fortress. It's almost like Plough Lane used to be for Wimbledon.
Yeah.
No one ever wants to go
there
because it's horrendous. Yeah. You've only got one side of stands, and the stands are probably 10 seats high. There's not very good viewing positions as well. So looking forward to this one tomorrow, Richie. I think Villarreal B, it's going to be an interesting start for Peña, and I think it will be a real flag of how they're going to get on for the season, because I'm worried about Peña. I've got to tell you, they tell me differently, but I'm worried because they've lost all their big players, so to speak, and they haven't really replaced them, although there's a couple of people coming under the radar. I'm a bit worried. I'm really hoping they don't get whacked tomorrow 2 or 3-0 and off to a bad start, because that would be a real kick up the backside for them. But I'm actually going to go for a 0-0 draw. Okay, I think they're going to set themselves out for a point early doors, not to lose. As we always say, don't lose your first game, even though you're at home. Villarreal B, we all know Villarreal have got very strong youth and up-and-coming lineup. So I think they'll be strong tomorrow. So I think I'm going to go 0-0.
Good. The other game tomorrow then, over here, is Atletico Balearics against Dux International de Madrid SAL. Quite know what all that is all about. But anyway, that's a 12 midday kickoff Sunday. Yeah, I'm going to go to the game. And
you're looking forward to it,
report on it. Listen, it's funny enough, I had actually completely forgotten about it. I'd written, you have to, if you're part of the press, you have to ask the club if you can get a pass beforehand. I'd completely forgotten about it, and the email came through this morning. So I've got to report in. As most fans are, the doors opening at 10:30. I've got to report in a bit early, so they can socially distance everybody and everything else. But yeah, the ground looks good. I've seen it from the outside. I've seen a few pictures of it. They've done a good job down there, with the stadium and everything else. I think I told you a couple of weeks ago they put another stand in the north end as well. Obviously, right now I'm not quite sure if they're going to use it.
I like that stadium, mate. I think it's a really good football stadium. You know what I mean, with the grandstand there as well. Some great noise from there as well, all the time. So I'm jealous, mate. I'd like to be there tomorrow as well, but I think that'll be a good one. Predictions?
Yeah, I don't really know too much about this side from Madrid, so I'm going to have to go Atletico Balearics. Let me go 2-1. Let me go 2-1 at Balearics.
I think Atletico Balearics is going to start quite strongly. I'm going for a 1-0 for Atletico Balearics. I think they're going to be the team to watch again this year. As you said, with the subgroups, we don't quite know how it's going to go, because every point's so. We went through it in an earlier episode. Every point is so important this year. So even those draws and everything as well. So I think 1-0 to Athletic Balearics. I think a strong start for them, and they'll be one to watch this season.
Well, I don't know what it's like over in Ibiza on the local football front, but obviously over here, our teams are all in cup competitions, actually. The Federation have put on some cup games. So we're playing Peñarabal away in the next few hours, actually. And then next weekend, they come to us in a return game. And that's happening all the way across the Infantiles and the Cadetes, and I think the Juveniles as well.
Is that Mallorca, Rich? I'm not sure if that's happening in Ibiza.
I think it's just Mallorca. Yeah.
I think because of the travelling as well, isn't it? So that's not happening over here, because I've made some inquiries, so it's not happening over here. But
and we've also got Tercera division happening as well. We've both got a few teams in that. We've been split into two groups again. So I'm not going to go into that in great detail today, but I think what we can do is we give you a good rundown next week when obviously the results start coming in, and we can see how everybody's done to begin with. But always a good competition, actually.
Yeah, funny enough, Tethera, sorry Richie to jump in there. Tethera, we've got a match tomorrow, a local derby. We've got Ibiza Islas Petusas, which we've talked about before because they're a feeder club for UD. They're playing my team, Portmoney, and I've just done my big sponsorship deal with them this week, SD Portmoney as well. So I get, because I'm such a big sponsor, I get.
What do you get? Cheese sandwiches or something? Is it?
I get a free season ticket and half a lager shandy every match, mate. That's what I get.
Really? Marvelous.
Probably not free. So no, that's one tomorrow. Rich, sorry, just go back to the Segunda B. Don't forget, we've got UD playing tomorrow as well, by the way. I know you didn't touch on it. UD are playing.
Are they playing in the league, or this is just a friendly game? Is it?
No, they're playing. They start tomorrow, mate. So they start.
They didn't come up on my list actually.
They're away to Atletico Levante tomorrow. Yeah, so which is Levante.
Okay.
Feeder team as well. So I don't want to leave them out of this week's podcast because there's a lot of expectation about UD this season, mate. And you know, I think this is the third time we've said it, but it's definitely their season this year, mate. Definitely their season.
Okay, all right. Well, look forward to that. Let's see, because it's the boy. His name escapes me. The boy that was the number 2 to Emery for all those years. It's his sort of first major game, isn't it?
Yeah, Carthero. Yeah, he's on tomorrow. He's talking a great game, by the way. So he's talking a great game, and it looks like they've assembled. On the face of it, UD seem to have assembled a stronger squad this year. Yeah, I think it's more settled. I think less superstars-y, if you know what I mean. It looks like he's put together a really good, strong squad. So I actually think, but tomorrow's a massive game, mate, because as we said before, I'm going to repeat ourselves over and over again, with a shortened format with the subgroup A and B, you need to get off to a good start.
That's right. It's nice and short and sweet this week, actually, Mark.
Yeah, lovely. We like short.
Not too much to talk about, but next week we'll have loads to talk about. Obviously, we'll go back on the Mallorca game. We'll go back on all our teams in Segunda B and Tethera as well next week, and then have a look at the local football too. So yeah, lots to fit in. But this week, you know, a bit short on footy action. But
next week we're going to have Segunda B and Tethera. So we even though it'd be short this week, it'll be extended next week. Sorry for everyone. Sorry for our big viewers out there as well. The less said about Spanish referees, the better after Wednesday night at Wembley as well, mate. What a shock!
Yeah, he was poor. He was poor. Do you know what? Funny enough, I was listening a few people talking about him on Talk Sport actually this week. Funny enough, and I should have actually found out. Do we know where this boy was from? This fella? Do we know where he was actually from? Okay, no, I don't know.
The thing is, we're not talking about English football, obviously, because this is a Balearic football. But I think we can talk about Spanish referees because it was an absolute shocker. But you know, I don't think England deserved to win the game, to be honest. But I'm not sure if they deserved to lose.
No, it was a poor game. Let's be honest. But yeah, you're right.
We'll find the detail. We'll find the details of the Spanish ref and we'll talk about it next week, shall we?
Yeah, okay, that's good idea. Right, Mark, listen, thank you very much, everybody. Don't forget to follow us on all the social media outlets, Kicking the Balearics on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. This post will be up sometime today, I think, Mark, will it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it might be either later today or first thing tomorrow, mate. So keep your eyes peeled.
Good. All right, take care. Speak to you next week.
Cheers, Richie. Have a good week, mate.